Hello, welcome to About Anglia, our online look at life here in the East. In the coming months, we'll be covering all sorts of issues spanning news, business, politics and much more. But today we're focusing on sport because we're lucky enough to be joined by a cricketing hero, a Bedfordshire schoolboy who's won countless matches with the ball for Northamptonshire, Essex and of course England. A man who famously saved an Ashes test with the bat and was known and loved by the Barmy Army as the Sikh of Tweak. We can only be talking about Monty Panesar. Monty, thanks for joining us. And here in the studio to help cut through the spin, see what I did there, is Andy Ward.
I thought that you were talking about me there.
No, not the Sikh of Tweak. Monty, thanks so much for coming in. Look, it's been a serious few months of cricket, but I want to start with your season because you're very much still playing, aren't you?
I did play this year, cricket at Shenfield, and very enjoyable. My Essex times that I've had, it was really good club. It's a club that really needs to be playing Premiership cricket in the Essex leagues, and just missed out on promotion. What surprised me of Essex was how strong the club competition is.
Yeah, because this is proper club cricket, isn't it? It must be almost strange for you as someone who's played at the top level, going back and playing club cricket after doing that. But is that just a reflection of your love for the game, or how have you managed that transition?
I think it's Essex itself. They won the Div 1 competition. This year they may do the double. They've already won the T20. And they may win the Div 1, but it's a reflection on club cricket. When the club cricket is strong at any county, it does help.
Have you got ambitions to return to the county game, potentially?
Yeah, I still have ambitions. I thought this year will be my last year, but I may give it a go again. Next year, but probably next year will be when I know. Then that's enough. This winter I'll probably use the time to get really fit, get myself, fit, mobile, and I'm hoping that there's a county. Maybe I live in London, and a county which is local around Northamptonshire, Essex, Middlesex, all of these sort of areas, Surrey, Kent. I'm naming all the counties that I would like to sort of get involved with, but that sort of local region will probably be a lot easier for me in terms of travel. But anyway, anywhere I'll get an opportunity, because I still feel I've got a lot left, to give to the game.
And playing that club cricket, does it make you think of when you started? Obviously, playing in Luton, playing in Dunstable. Does it make you think of those? How hard you had to work, I guess, when you were younger to get to the top?
Well, I was very lucky in my younger days, because ECB just appointed development officers in each county, and at the time it was David Mercer who really took me under his wing and pushed me. At the age of 16 I played under 19s Bedfordshire. Then he straight away put me in, they put me in the minor counties team at 16 and played at Wardown Park, bowled 30 overs as a 16-year-old against Cambridgeshire. And David Mercer really helped me to propel my career there. And club cricket was the same. When I was 14, 15, my coach Hitu Nayak, who was at Luton Town and Indians, he said you need to play higher level Premier cricket, and Dunstable will be a good option. And Dunstable at the time was Brian Chapman, who kind of helped me and was just, I think they just really liked my appetite for the game.
Because you weren't always a spin bowler in those days, were you? Did you start as a medium pace?
Yeah, I started as a fast bowler, and then I remember Paul Taylor said to me during the nets in Bedfordshire, where professional cricketers will come and help out, and he said to me you should try spin, because I couldn't just bowl fast, and I started to bowl spin. And when he saw me the ball turn and bounce, he goes, just stick to spin, and you shouldn't bowl fast bowling again. And then funnily enough, when I played the next game at Worcester under 15s at the Royal Grammar School in Worcester, I took 7 for 35. And then after that, I never looked back. I always stuck to spin.
It's interesting with spin, isn't it? Because England are kind of, Jack Leach has done really well, but he's not a world-class spinner, is he? So there's actually an opportunity for someone young to come into that. So what's your message for a young spinner? Is it just keep at it, keep persevering with it?
I think for spin bowling, when I was young, I bowled lots of overs, and when I'm at the age of 16, I'm bowling 30 overs in men's cricket. Then the next game played against Hertfordshire, I bowled 60 overs, you know, and I just don't think that spinners at the moment bowl enough overs to really understand and, you know, their game in red ball cricket. And that's quite difficult because you've got T20, you've got one-dayers, then, you know, spin bowling is a huge asset in T20 cricket as well. And some spinners who can bat a little bit probably think, can I become a global, you know, franchise player if I can't, you know, play the national honours? And how much time can you invest in training? You know, there's only so much you can do with, you know, working on your T20 game plans, on your, you know, red ball cricket game plans. And I think what my asset still is that I'm like that specialist red ball cricketer, you know, which probably is a dying breed, I think, you know, in the county cricket, especially, you know, you just look at, you know, test match batsmen right now. You know, Dominic Sibley was the only guy to score over 1,000 runs. Before then, you know, in county cricket, there used to be so many players who scored over 1,000 runs. You could pick, you know, 4 or 5, you know, specialist batsmen, bowlers, spin bowlers. Now, you know, it's so difficult because
it's not trendy, is it? Scoring runs slowly anymore.
No, it's not. You've got to do it as quickly.
The boycott, yes, what Sir Geoffrey Boycott way is becoming not so cool or fashionable.
Yeah.
People forget about all those hard yards as well, don't they? All those overs that you bowl in training. And I remember actually coming and watching you playing for Northamptonshire when I was just a wee boy thinking, and you were playing in the second team, I think, then, in Northamptonshire. I remember one game where you were bowling at half-time to people there, and people will forget those days where you're in the second team at Northants desperately trying to make it. So do you look back fondly at those times, or do you think, well, I really had to, you know, put all those hard yards in to make it?
Well, I think what for me was that I spent so much time in perfecting my bowling that I really wanted to, you know, spend more time on my fitness, on my batting, bowling, which
not fielding though, absolutely
fielding.
not. Well, don't bother. Yeah, no fielding. We don't want any more fielding drills.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you can just bowl and bowl a side out, you know, that's more valuable to a team than you know, doing a diving stop. Or taking a diving catch. But yeah, that's I think, and that's what, you know, like you guys said, that there is a gap in the county cricket now. You know, I don't think there's enough specialists, you know, red ball cricketers coming through or developing their skills, which, you know, my skill is very much honed to test cricket. And so therefore I still feel that, there's an opportunity for me to play cricket next year with a first-class county, because I'm able to give them that, you know, the red ball skill, which I think counties are desperately, you know, wanting now. You know, they're really searching for, you know, a batsman who can bat long periods of time, a bowler who really knows, you know, how to just bowl on a flat pitch and go for, like, you know, 2.5 and over. That's really important, you know, and then able to attack when the wicket's, you know, slightly more, you know, scuffed up on a third or a fourth day pitch. So for me, I think, you know, I'm able to still develop that skill, especially when a lot of young players are introduced to, you know, playing T20 and ODI cricket. When I played, I think I was very much, you know, it was all about, you know, red ball cricket.
Monty, do you think we've got an issue with the county championship? Because, you know, we play a lot of the games in April, don't we, and at the back end of the season. Is that not sort of breeding the talent we need in terms of, it's very hard to bat on those sort of wickets, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, the ECB and all the teams around, you know, heavily, you know, invested in winning, you know, the World Cup, you know, which they had done. And so now you look at likes of Essex, you know, they're a good T20 team. They've won the T20 Cup, but they're able to also do really well in red ball cricket. So, you know, Essex is like
they're a benchmark, aren't they?
A benchmark, I reckon, for all the other counties to, like, ask their players, you know, how are you managed to, you know, do well in red ball and white ball cricket? How can you do both? Like, there's not a lot of counties or players who are able to transform their form in both forms, and Essex are one of them counties are doing it.
But it's quite interesting. There's no Essex players in the England team, isn't it? When you think about it, you know, Jamie Porter, for example, he's been taking wickets consistently. Lawrence gets a lot of runs. I just wonder why that is.
Again, are they fashionable
Yeah,
players?
is that what it is?
You know, what do people want to go and watch when they watch a game of cricket now? They want to go and watch the Peterson mould players who smash it out of the park, and the bowlers that bowl quickly.
It seems to be that way, you know, Jason Roy getting picked. And
do you think there is anything in that if you are one of those maybe slightly old-fashioned players now, you're going to struggle to fit into that England mould?
I think in Test cricket, you know, if you're like old-fashioned sort of cricket style that you have, and Jamie Porter probably is a slightly more, you know, inclined, you know, for red ball cricket than white ball, that'll probably be his preferred option. You know, he's got a potential, you know, to be involved with England's setup, but. You know, Essex have always produced, you know, cricketers which are good for. I think the team itself, as Essex, you know, they do well. You know, they do well. They work well as a team. But if you want to have any standout players, at the moment they're probably the youngsters which are going to. I'll be surprised if there's no youngsters being picked for the England Lions. You know, there'll be a few that I'm sure will get picked for that because, you know, they've had a successful season, but they're probably just not as complete players in one form or the other.
We've talked about the skills there as a cricketer, but there's a huge side, isn't there, the mental side of the game, and just thinking about the toll that takes on you playing Test cricket and playing maybe white ball cricket as well. Do you remember from your own career how challenging the off the pitch side of the game was?
Well, I think you've got to invest a lot more on making sure, you know, you're mentally in the right frame of mind. And the right frame of mind means that, you know your game plans. You're clear about when you play a T20 game, where are my boundary options? As a bowler, can I nail my Yorkers, slower balls? And then when you have to switch back to red ball cricket, you're able to, you know, get back to bowling the line and length you need, get back the mind to switch to, you know, play against a swinging ball. And you just look at the schedule now, you know, Saturday, Essex won. Monday, they're back on playing red ball cricket.
Yeah.
Now, that is the mental, that's what I think a lot of people talk about is the mental, can you change the mental state from playing a game, like a 2-3 hour game, which is full of energy, full of emotional, you know, roller coaster ride. Suddenly you're going for more of a patient game, going back to, you know, the basics of, you know, cricket really, you know, red ball cricket is where you really learn your trade. And that transition is what I think sometimes can take a toll on a younger player. When you're away from home a lot, you know, like you obviously mentioned, is that, you know, the team that you play with, that becomes like a family. You need to have some best friends in that team. You need to have people that you can, you know, once you finish your training, you want to go for a coffee, but you just don't want to talk about cricket. You could talk about football, talk about maybe Brexit issues.
No, please don't.
Or or, you know, is Boris the right person for this, you know, country? Whatever it is, you don't want cricket. And that's the kind of friends you also need when you're travelling a lot. You know, you can't be just having cricket all the time. Because
who was that for you? Who was that best bud? Was it you?
Yeah, every, you know, there's different teams. You have different players, don't you? So, like, you know, me and Swanee, we've played at Northants together. So I would always ask him, can you give me a few impressions? Because I used to love hearing his impressions.
Does he do you?
He does do me very well as well. And then after a couple, he'll say, look, you know, I'm not a dancing monkey, mate. You don't just slot a 20p coin in and you want an impression. Like, he was just a fun guy to be around because I played, you know, my youth cricket with him.
Yeah.
So you kind of know each other really well when you play a lot of cricket together. And he knows me, I know him. We're spinners, you know, they're like, you know, like London buses, they all come at once, don't they? So, yeah.
We could use one now. We could use one of you back.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Do you think back to any particular highlights in your career? It's such a broad question. You talk about getting Sachin Tendulkar out with that first ball or batting for that draw at Cardiff, but have you got your own personal moment?
I think there's so many, you know, I've had so many lucky moments, so many moments that I was such privilege. And then, you know, like a local moment for me was when I bowled so many overs at Mike Hussey. And then I was bowling at him in an Ashes Test match at Perth. It was like a bit of a surreal moment. Yeah. It's like I was actually bowling so many overs at you at Northants, where even Nick Cook, who was my second team coach, and you know, he even said to me, he used to come out of the offices and say, "Look, Monty, you have to drag me out of the nets." He said, "No more bowling. You know, you do too much bowling." But we used to just love that battle because he wasn't a great player of spin. He was on, you know, whacker pitches. You learn how to play against fast bowling, and you know, maybe a small amount I helped towards him becoming a better player of spin. But when you're playing together, you know, and you have that Northants kind of thing, that was a real proud moment for me.
And you mentioned the Cardiff moment in 2009. That was just amazing. I mean, I remember watching that.
I think I'm still nervous now. I am just thinking about it.
What is that like when you're coming out to bat? You've got, I think it was 11 overs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just the expectation. You know, the expectation is, oh, Monty, you know, is going to get out soon, and then eventually we'll go home. You know, that's what England number 11s do, don't they?
Yeah.
They just bowl a lot, sleep in the dressing room, and they go out for a bat. and they don't, and you're not expecting anything from them. That's why that moment made it so like special for everyone in this country, because of that pigeonhole, that tag.
An underdog. We love an underdog.
We do.
You know, it's like
all you had to do was wipe your glasses as well.
Yeah.
You've been completely in the nation's
exactly. And there's something about, you know, spinners. You know, they just are loved by the nation. You know,
You've seen that with Jack Leach this summer, haven't you?
Yeah, Jack Leach. You know, glasses and bowling. Obviously, you know, with his bowling, that's come along, and yeah, he's done really well. I met him at Lord's, and he looked confident. He just wanted to know a bit more about how to bowl maybe on a first day pitch, because he knows he's about.
You spoke to him about that?
Yeah, he's more, you know, at Somerset, you know, where the pitches probably turn a little bit more. And he just wanted to know a bit more about, you know, flatter pitches, which I think that's where it's going to be his development. You know, if he's going to really nail that spot in the England team, then he needs to have the ability to at least, you know, hold an end up or take wickets on a first innings.
Apart from you, is he the best spinner England have got right now? Is he the one we should stick with?
Well, he's a good spinner.
Have we got better? Or?
Well, I thought Simon Harmer, you know, off spinner, I thought he would have got
80
a chance.
championship wickets, I think he took this season.
He is South African, though.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa makes it quite difficult.
That makes it tricky.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah.
Does that matter? Kevin Peterson?
It hasn't in the past,
Yeah,
does it?
exactly.
So, yeah.
No, I'm sure it hasn't in the past, but I think because he's a cold pack and there's spinners in this country who were born in this country, I think you may just want to give them a go a little bit. You know, here we're just saying, okay, you know, to the cold pack players that, we're happy to have you here because we want to help you. But I think that's what probably the England selectors are looking at. You know, I know he's taken loads of wickets, but they've gone for someone like, you know, Mark Parkinson, who can bowl a bit of leg spin, but he's a British-born in this country.
Yeah.
And likewise, you know, because you should be giving, you know, players who are born in this country a first go, see how that goes. And then if Simon Harmer, you know, he'll probably go be on the Lions trip. And, you know, there's a Sri Lanka tour coming as well, so he may have an opportunity there.
It's interesting, that debate, isn't it, with cold pack players?
Yeah.
Because we've looked at grassroots cricket a lot in this region over the last few months, and our clubs were telling us that they were really struggling just to put sides out. That obviously as one of the effects. We're just going to play you just a couple of clips at what we heard from our clubs this summer.
I think where the biggest letdown is schools. You know, I know I didn't play a great deal at school, and I think it's far worse now.
One of the more depressing pieces of information that came out of a survey a few years ago was how few children knew who Alistair Cook was. The highest run-scoring England batsman, played the most games, and yet fewer than 10% of children at primary school knew who he was.
I just hope people will fall back in love with the game, to be honest. I think it needs the whole game needs more people involved in terms of organisation, in terms of watching, in terms of everything to do with the game, because I think otherwise, you know, there's going to be more and more clubs that fall by the wayside.
So that last clip there, Paul, he played for a side that has actually since had to fold because of a lack of players. So do you think there is a real issue in the grassroots game at the moment?
I think it's a real issue at grassroots levels and also primary and secondary school. You know, we've won the Cricket World Cup, right? And you look at Liverpool, when they won the Champions League, they did an open top bus, right, for the fans. And I think there was a moment, this was a missed moment.
It's a missed opportunity.
You know, if England won the World Cup, right, there would have been an open-top bus.
Probably be a bank holiday, wouldn't they?
We'd have had a week off if it had been the Football World Cup.
If football won the World Cup, they would have done, you know, everywhere, right, for the fans to get together, you know, to like feel this, you know, that we won the World Cup, get the nation together. I just felt that they should have done something to celebrate it. Maybe gone around, you know, London, or just did a Trafalgar Square thing.
You just want a big party, don't you, Monty?
No,
really?
but I think it's really important, because what it does, it connects the grassroots levels.
Yeah.
People all gone to just different cities, you know, and then just did that, you know, maybe in the city centre, we're here, you know, not an open top bus, but going to the major cities, because football's got it right. You know, you look at football, Liverpool, they won the Champions League, they do an open top bus, right? when Man City win it, or any team that wins a Premier League or anything like that, to do open-top buses. Why is that? Because it connects to grassroots level people.
I'm just thinking back to 2005, and you're right, there was amazing scenes in London, wasn't there? You had the open-top bus parade. And you're right, it does seem like a missed opportunity, doesn't it?
I was coaching cricket at that point, and there were so many children turning up for training that they almost couldn't handle it at coaching after that 2005 series. So, you know, this moment, it really has to be exploited, doesn't it? And I wonder whether all of that success translates into more people playing the game or not.
It's really up to, obviously, ECB, what programmes they, initiatives they bring out. Now,
we saw the All-Stars in that.
Yeah, so programmes like that are really helping cricket, but we also know that cricket is not played at all primary schools and secondary schools around the country. So there's pockets of areas where cricket is not accessible, and that needs to be accessible. I'm sure there'll be another initiatives, programs taking place. They've got the 100-100 competition coming up. So, the ECB are working extremely hard in trying to making sure that cricket is accessible everywhere. And yeah, all eyes are going to be on the England ODI team. They know they are world champions for the next 4 years. So England have got another 4 years of really exploiting this. And I think the next year with the 100-100, it's going to be like their really year. That 2020 is where ECB really got to make sure, the participation rates, cricket is at grassroots levels. It really needs to be accessible. Grassroots levels is where the growth is. And football in this country, they get it right with the grassroots levels.
Monty, where do you stand on the 100? Because there's been a lot of criticism that it's going to crowd the schedule, but it is going to be on terrestrial TV, and like what you said, it will connect the grassroots, won't it? And it'll be good to see it on TV.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant that they've got it on terrestrial TV, because on terrestrial TV is where you're going to get more growth at grassroots levels. Cricket will be accessed everywhere around the country, and that's going to really help England. And we did event T20 cricket. 100-100, I'm sure, will be a success, because we just find a way of making things successful. So I think it's a real good initiative. We've still got to wait and see, how successful this will be. But I think it's probably an ideal time. The ECB could not offer a perfect time. Since we won the World Cup, now we're just bound towards 100-100. But they obviously had that couple of years in the planning, but for them this timing is so perfect.
Yeah, they need to latch onto that.
That now they just need to make the most of this and really grow cricket in this country.
It'll be really interesting to watch it develop. Monty, thank you so much. Now listen, we wanted to finish with a few quick-fire questions.
Yeah,
I know Wardy's been hard at work.
Have we
got some cheesy music? We might have some cheesy music. Does the budget stretch to cheesy music?
You're off.
Listen to that.
It's like being on Mastermind.
You ready, Monty? Yeah, you're in trouble now under the intense pressure of Andy Ward's questioning.
Right, so Monty, favourite ground?
Lords.
Favourite player that you've played with?
Freddie.
The scariest bowler that you've faced?
Shoaib Akhtar.
Now this is a bit harder. Stuart Broad or James Anderson?
James Anderson.
That was too quick, he answered
it
that,
wasn't
it?
it?
Broady will be on the phone.
I hope he's not watching this. Yeah. Botham or Flintoff? Or Stokes? Should we chuck Stokes in there?
I think for me, Freddie.
Your worst moment in cricket?
When I stopped the ball at Test match and I put my foot over the line and I threw it and it was still full.
One to watch for the future, a star of the future?
Oh, good question. Star of
Monty Panesar?
Sam Curran.
Sam Curran, like it. Favourite food at tea?
Scones.
Yeah, I thought cream first or jam first on the scone?
Cream first.
Cream then jam?
Then jam.
Controversial.
That is controversial.
Yeah.
That really is. Anyway, Monty, final question. Tell us something about you that will surprise us. Something we didn't know.
I've got a dog called Rambo.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, it classifies because I didn't know that information.
We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Monty, thank you.
Thanks so much for coming in. It's really good.
Thank you.